Don't get frustrated. Everybody can play the recorder. I'll show you.
True. All right, let's see.
Isn't that better?
All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. This is Brandon here, and I'm taking a look at another episode of Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. This is actually the first episode I have filmed since Christmas, so it's been a while for me looking at Ned's. I've really been missing Ned's. Actually, the next two episodes you all have mentioned in the comments, and I don't know why you've mentioned them in the comments. This one is called Music Class. The next one, I believe, is Class Clown, and a few of you guys have mentioned those episodes. I'm not sure why. I don't really want to know why, so I'll be surprised. But I'm looking forward to this one. And actually, I just clicked on a random frame here. I don't choose these in advance. They're just random. And this is Comb Over, the music teacher. And I see here, because I was a music teacher, I do recognize a lot of this stuff on here. You've got key of C major. He's got the stabs up there. Every Good Boy Does Fine. I taught that myself for many years. And he's got some other stuff. Now, the record player here, no, I don't know why you would have that in there, but I'm really curious to see what's going to take place in this episode. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, please take a minute to subscribe using the button below. I do appreciate it. But let's get into the episode.
He's the best guitar player ever!
He totally rocks!
I totally love him!
Who is it? Ned? Yeah. This is an imagination. The daydream of his.
Ned.
Yeah.
This is music instruction.
Okay, so okay, all right. So this really hits home for me because I was a band teacher. I was a band director for a long time, and I didn't expect to see this guy. They've never had a band director or teacher that has been in the show. I have seen, I think it was in the forgery where the notes episode, the notes, where Martin would forge the notes. He would do it in the band instrument storage area. And this, it looks like a band room, although I see the girl in the bottom left with the violin. You don't typically have strings and band instruments in the same class, not usually. You're either going to have a school band or school orchestra, which has mostly winds or mostly strings. But here they've got them sort of mixed in. And these kids, like, I see this guy in the back. If you see him with the French horn, he has no idea what he's doing. But, you know, at the beginning, you really don't. But learning how to hold the instrument is like, okay, that's like the first day, you know. So unless this is the first day or the first few days of class, these kids should know something. And like some of them are just standing around. They're standing up playing, and the music stands are all the way down, and some of them are seated. It's like the person didn't put much thought in putting this little scene together or consult a music teacher or whatever. Sometimes people who do these shows do that, and sometimes they don't consult anybody. They just throw it together. But I'm really curious here. I see the posters in the back. I did have posters kind of like that with the different instruments, fingering charts and stuff like that. Is that an accordion back there? I'm not sure what these are. It's almost like someone just went and threw some random instruments together and just said, hey, kid, hold this. But let's see what happens here.
Not rock and roll fantasy class. Okay.
Uh,
Class, let's begin practicing our scale, shall we?
a banjo. That girl had a banjo. So you just wouldn't have that combination of instruments. You'd have your wind instruments, your flutes, clarinets, saxophone, trumpets, trombones, your percussion. You wouldn't have strings in a band class necessarily, and this looks an awful lot like a band class. You wouldn't have violins or banjo, certainly. You wouldn't even have that in orchestra. Banjo is kind of a country music instrument or bluegrass. Which doesn't really fit well in some of these other classes that you typically see in school. And by the way, I disagree with this teacher here. I don't know his name yet, but Ned was kind of fantasizing about being a rock star, and he is holding an acoustic guitar, which again, you wouldn't have in this type of class. But let's say that you did. I have seen it before just as an attempt to involve more students, but you would kind of capitalize on that. You wouldn't want to get on to Ned about doing that. You'd say, oh yeah, you know, I'm glad you're excited. You know, it's a little different what we do, but let's teach you some stuff so that you can play rock and roll later if you really want to. I would really try to capitalize on that because otherwise you're only going to push them away. Let's see what happens next. And I've got to stop it. I don't know what that was supposed to be. And that is what it sounds like at the beginning. You're learning to play the first few notes on each instrument so that you can maybe play together and play a song. But it looks like they just handed some random instruments to some kids, didn't teach them anything about how to hold it. And then just this guy started doing this. Like, it's pretty bad. These people did not consult a musician or music teacher at all. But I'm really, really curious now to see what happens in this episode. Music class. Okay. At least he's really playing. Like, I respect a TV show or movie where the person is actually playing the instrument. Or at the very least, I've seen a lot of them where they'll have it dubbed where they're not really playing, but someone has shown them how to hold it and how to do the fingerings where it sort of looks to the average person like they're playing it. I can tell they're not, but most other people, it's like, oh, okay, they're really playing. Ned is really playing the guitar here, which I respect. Let's see what this teacher says about it.
Mr. Gibson, I don't want to play these
Mr.
scales anymore.
Gibson.
I want to be a rock star.
Mr. Gibson. And all of the teachers in this show are like Mr. Chopsaw, the shop teacher. They're all very aptly named. Mr. Gibson, like the guitar company, is the teacher here. Let's keep going.
If you master the scales, then you'll be able to play anything. Being a rock star, not all it's cracked up to be.
Being a rock star is great. Girls love rock stars. You're famous. You're rich. Did I mention the girls?
Did I mention practice? Scales.
Honestly, I have had some very similar conversations to this. Now, I didn't express it quite this way, but it is true that, let's say you want to be a rock star, you do sort of have to learn the basics. Now this guy is really like dry, and I guess he's supposed to be like the stereotypical music teacher. Scales, yeah, I mean, particularly for these wind instruments behind him, the French horn, the saxophone, the trumpet, all those behind him. You do sort of have to learn the first few notes, and then scales are helpful, but he's being sort of harsh about it here. I probably wouldn't express this to Ned the same way. I would just say, hey, that's great. You want to be a rock star. All right, let me help you get there. And yeah, you do probably need to learn some scales, but let's do it together. Let me show you how. He just says scales and starts to walk away. And again, you wouldn't have this, I'll be quiet about it, I promise, but you wouldn't have this combination of instruments in any sort of school class. You've got a banjo, a violin, I saw a cello a minute ago, and you've got Ned with his guitar, and then a saxophone, a trombone. These instruments, except for maybe the banjo, would exist in different classes. You would have typically an orchestra or a band class that would have these separately. But they just have them all sort of thrown in here together, whatever they could get, I guess, for the show. But let's keep going. Okay, who's that? Okay, I was getting excited. I thought somebody was jamming out to the drum set, and it's Cookie, but he's got some sort of electronic drum set. Okay, I'm really interested here. What do they got? This girl in the pink has the clarinet. Her hands are backwards. And this kid in the orange here, it looks like some sort of decoration. That is not, I've never seen an instrument like that. I mean, you might have something like that 1,000 years ago or something, but it looks like a decoration from like Hobby Lobby or some home improvement store, and they just handed it to this kid for the scene. And this girl, it looks like, poor girl, she's trying to hold it, the way you would, but whoever told her what to do, or maybe no one did, like the left hand is on top on clarinet, so she's doing it backwards here. I really wish they would have put a little more thought into teaching these kids something, but maybe that's what it's supposed to be, like for the plot, like they were just thrown in here and they don't really know anything yet. I see on the board, I'm not sure what this number 1 and number 2 are in Roman numerals. You wouldn't do it like that. And then these look like clarinet fingerings here. You've got that's the one on the left is the fingering for an E on clarinet. The one on the right is not a fingering for an actual note at all. So someone doesn't know what they're doing here at all, and I'm not sure. Like there are 4 holes on bottom for this clarinet image. Really, kind of nonsensical. The only thing on this board at all that makes sense is the whole note, half note, quarter note. Even though the quarter note is not filled in, I'm not sure what they did. Somebody just drew some random stuff on this board, but I'll try not to spend too much time on picking this stuff apart. Let's keep going.
Simon, the computer is not a musical instrument.
I know, it's better.
It can be. It can be. I would sort of beg to differ. You wouldn't typically have something like that in a class like this. But yeah, this guy is just so dry. And he taps on the computer with the baton that he has. You wouldn't carry that around. They're just trying to make this guy into sort of a walking stereotype. I have seen, you see this, it looks like a sousaphone case or something, or no, a bass drum case, where you've got the school mascot on it. I have seen that before. That's pretty cool with the Polk Middle School Wolf, just like I've got on my shirt here. Let's keep going.
It plays all the instruments.
Yeah.
To
Come
pass
on.
this class, you have to learn how to play a real instrument.
Oh, man. And they're probably going to make fun of this, but he's holding a recorder. Many of you all probably have had some experience in school with the recorder. It's, if you don't know what that is, it's this little plastic instrument that is like a little flute. And it sort of resembles the clarinet in the way that you hold it, at least. And there are really, really cheap versions of this that you can buy for like $1 or $2. This guy's looks like a serious recorder that is going to cost a bit more money. It's just going to be thicker, and more care is put into fashioning it so that it sounds much, much better, a higher quality. But this guy, he's just a walking stereotype here. Let's keep going. Oh, boy.
Isn't that better?
No, it's not. It's not. Oh, man. And that is how a recorder sounds with most kids. The first time they get a hold of it, then they just go nuts on it. And he's like, oh, yeah, isn't that better? It's not better. You need to teach them something. This guy hasn't taught them anything. Let's see what happens next here.
Instruction, just transfer into music appreciation with me. We sit, listen to boring music, and nap.
Oh, boy. And I'm sorry to stop this much. It's just that I have a lot to say about this episode. So Moze here says, she's kind of smugly leaning against her locker. She says, oh, just transfer into music appreciation with me. We listen to some boring music, sit and nap. Oh, sadly, there's some truth to that. Oh, that sort of hits hard. Now, I've seen teachers that have done a fantastic job with music appreciation. Basically, it is what it sounds like. You're trying to expose students to different types of music from all around the world, different genres, in the hopes that they will gain an appreciation for it, or at least understand it better, where it comes from, what instruments are used, why it was written in the first place, what culture it comes from. But I've seen many more examples, probably 60 or 70%. That were kind of boring that I've seen in different schools that I've worked at and visited. There is definitely some truth to that. And if you had that experience, I'm very sorry that you didn't get a good experience. I have seen it done quite well before, but that hits hard. Let's keep going.
Sounds better than practicing boring, endless scales. I want to be a rock star, not a loser.
At least you guys can play an instrument. If I don't learn to play this thing, I'm gonna flunk.
Yeah, and Cookie, look at what you're doing here. I think most people who've never played a recorder before, they would never try this. Like, is this what you would do if you tried to play it for the first time? Grab it with both hands, covering all the holes, and just blow as hard as you can. I've never seen that before, and I've seen some very, very young students try to play the recorder, and they don't do this. This is kind of crazy, but it is pretty funny looking.
Don't get frustrated. Everybody can play the recorder. I'll show you.
True. All right, let's see.
Isn't that better?
Um, I didn't see that coming, so I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, Moze is gonna play it," and she just takes it and chucks it down the hallway. look at Cookie's face here. This is gonna be a good episode. I can tell already. Okay. Oh boy, come over.
Today, we delve into the symphonic wonder that is Mozart.
The only
Oh my
wonder is how Mozart stayed awake writing this stuff.
Miss Mosley.
And he's going to be a walking stereotype as well. Now, again, I have seen many music appreciation teachers that were rather boring. No one went to this extreme. Like, this is really over the top. So he's like, first of all, it is very slow, somewhat boring sounding music. I don't even think it's Mozart necessarily. And he's playing it on a record player, and he's like doing this weird whatever, like he's into it. Oh, goodness. Let's keep going.
I'm getting the feeling that you all think this class is nap time with a soundtrack.
Yeah, what gave it away? The pajamas, the blanket, or the pillow? This girl in front looks very comfortable. And look at the background. I just noticed this. So the posters in the back, you've got various composers, which I've seen real life posters like this. There's nothing negative about it, and it sort of gives you some basic info. And then look on the left. You recognize that guy? That's comb over wearing a powdered wig. Whoever put that there, that's just fantastic.
We love science.
No.
No more.
Oh, look at him. I never noticed this. He's got a shaved head in the back, and then the front of him is this weird beard combination comb over thing, whatever it is. Let's see what happens next here.
Now, I want you to listen to the music until you can't stop humming it, until you know the joy and happiness it possesses. I
Okay.
want you to let the music in so you can let it out.
Okay.
Do it or I'll fail all of you.
Ooh.
This is TRL with #1 rock star Ned Bigby.
Look at him. Look at his hair and his little expression. Oh man. I'm guessing this is another daydream of his. Let's see what he dreams up here.
So what do you have to say to all these rockin' fans that totally rock?
I say, let's rock.
Okay. Hey, he was playing it though. I mean, he's actually playing. I do respect that. And I have met kids like this. In other words, they're excited and they don't know what they're excited about. They just want to rock. You know, they don't know what they want to play. They don't know what they want to do. They just want to have that kind of feeling that you're seeing portrayed here in Ned's Daydreams. And really, if this teacher is smart, which he hasn't been smart so far, he's going to take advantage of that and try and funnel that into really what he needs Ned to do and at least try to make it fun, but he's not doing that. Let's see what this next class is going to be like. Oh boy.
I want to rock. Like the Foo Fighters, Incubus, or Everclear.
Never heard of them.
Oh,
I want to play an electric guitar.
okay.
I don't want to be a loser.
So, cheap hotels, waking up with tattoos that
Dude. Just stop. Just let him have his little fantasy and get him involved in your class. But this guy, Mr. Gibson, his name was, it's just awful. He's just awful. Let's see what he says.
you don't even remember getting. That makes you a winner?
Right, because you know all about the rock and roll life.
I give it up. Scales.
What in the world?
Sounds like someone's been practicing.
Thanks, Mr. Gibson.
It's his computer.
I can't play it.
And he needs to like at least find a way for Cookie to use that skill in class, even if he does ask him to play another instrument in addition to maybe what he's doing here. He is not doing a good job at getting these kids excited about what they're doing. And again, with Ned, like I haven't heard him play anything else. Like, yeah, you do learn scales, but you learn them in order to do other things, like use them to learn new notes or enable you to play new songs, not just to learn them, just to learn them. Let's keep going here.
I'm not lazy or goofing. The truth is, I stink.
Simon, you've been relying on your computer for too long.
Okay.
You can do this. Try it.
Oh boy.
Here, let me show you.
Okay, he's gonna show him something.
Let's try something different.
Oh man, I got excited because I'm like, all right, he's finally gonna teach him something. And he takes it and he smiles and he just chucks it over his shoulder. You know, honestly, sometimes this or a version of this does happen in real life where a student tries to play a particular instrument and they try and they try and they try and they try and they just aren't successful on it. Sometimes a teacher might ask them to try a different instrument. That does happen, not very often, because very typically students will start on an instrument, and because they aren't immediately able to play it perfectly, they say, well, can I just switch instruments? Because they think that's the answer. No, typically they have to, at least for a period of time, keep going on that instrument. But there are times where this happens, but this the way he did it was just really funny. Let's keep going. Okay, CD player. I remember those. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Did you fall asleep? Yes. Oh.
So, what do you think of my new instrument?
And a couple of comments. Number one, Moze would not be allowed to, if she fell asleep in there and they just left her in there asleep, like that is a problem. Like no one got her and woke her up and had her go to class. They just left her. That is a serious problem. There have been instances of kids at schools falling asleep and being left there. And that, as you can imagine, is a huge, huge deal. I have heard of that a couple of times before, never done it myself. But yeah, that would be a huge problem. And then Cookie comes up with the bass drum with the school logo on the drum head. I don't know what these leather straps are about. And you can see it hangs way off him. I've never seen something like this before. You just wouldn't have it. What you'd have is a bass drum harness that has metal hooks that kind of hook on to the drum so that it's much more solid. And you'd have like a metal padded harness that goes over your shoulder. Many of you may know what I'm talking about, but these like loose straps make no sense at all. They really should have done a little bit of research before they filmed this episode, but let's keep going.
Whoa, I must have slept through second period.
And third and fourth. Oh, and lunch. And fifth.
What?
And they left her here, and there's these workers behind her, around her. Like, that is terrible. They just left her there. That is awful. I would be very upset if I were her parents. That's a real issue there. Let's keep going. Okay.
These headphones off.
What happened?
Not good.
It's stuck in her head. Okay. Yeah, he's playing.
Stay in school.
Crubs.
That's it. I'm quitting music instruction.
What? Why? You're really improving.
Yeah, he
I'm
is.
really bored, so I'd rather be a bored loser in music appreciation, or at least I can catch up on my sleep.
Oh.
Ed, practice is boring, but it's how you learn.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of truth to that. He should be making some sort of effort in making this fun, and he's really just not. It is true you have to practice. It is true scales are a part of some classes, but he's really not trying at all to help Ned. Let's see what happens here. Does he really quit?
I want to be a rock star, not a scales expert.
Trust me, if you want to be a rock star, I know what's best. What's it going to take to convince you?
Nothing. Sorry, Mr. Gibson.
Ah. Okay, what's he gonna do now? I'm guessing he's like secretly a rock star or something like that. Maybe, I'm not sure. Now she's in, I guess, gym class or playing volleyball, and she's got this music in her head. I'm not sure what effect it's gonna have on her here. Oh no, she can't play now because she's too mellowed out. What is she doing? You're telling me that this classical music made her put her arms through the net? That's a little hard to believe. Let's keep going.
You stink today.
Mm.
Mozart is stuck in my head. It's like some kind of mind control. Quick, I need to listen to some real music. No, wait. But I'm listening to
Same thing.
Mozart. I kind of like it. You're becoming one of them. A music appreciator.
A music well, I mean, that is the point, Moze, but a music appreciator. That's pretty funny.
I can't get the music out of my head, and now I stink at volleyball.
Good. Don't fight it. When I think of
What does that say? Bow wow wow. You see that in the back? I'm not sure what that is. That's pretty funny. Let's see what he says here.
Mozart, I think of Moze, and I think of art. Mozart!
Okay.
That is the beauty of Mozart. It connects and sticks to your soul. Watch.
Oh boy.
I am happy. I am sad.
What? Yeah, look at her face. And I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Like, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing? I'm not real sure. Let's just keep going.
I am being chased. Oh, look out behind me. Now I'm running through a field of lilies. And now I have won the battle.
Okay.
Interesting.
Now, since you say the music is stuck in your head, all you have to do is find your volleyball song
Okay.
and let the music out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking when she started not playing so well. Like, well, maybe you just need to listen to something different and see if that helps you improve your game. And she seems to like this idea. I wonder what she's going to pick.
I'm going to run through the lilies again.
What? Okay.
Hey, I can play an instrument that's not a computer.
And you would never hold it like this. If you see the little rods here that he's got, those attach to the rims of the bass drum, and by tightening them, they tighten the tension around the drum head and adjust the tension on the drum head. But it almost looks like a like more of a concert bass drum that he's got. And again, you'd never hold it like this because these rods are not the strongest. I've seen them bend and even break before if too much pressure is put on them. Again, you'd have a harness. It's really not hard to get one of those. You just go down to your local school and kind of borrow one, but they didn't want to do that. I'm not sure where they got this drum from in the first place, but let's keep going.
It's really heavy, though.
Yeah, you don't hold it like that. Oh no. Just gonna keep going. It would never go this far. What happened? Oh no.
You might want to try a lighter instrument, Simon.
I agree. Can we pick it now?
Not right now.
You know, this guy isn't the best so far. I'm guessing he's gonna redeem himself here, but he's got that little, come on, Ned, let's learn something. Like that little voice. I don't know who it sounds like to me, but just that little voice is very unique. Let's keep going.
Here you go, Ned. A transfer slip to music appreciation. But may I ask, why did you decide to transfer?
And by the way, every school's a little bit different in how they do requests to change classes like this. Most schools that I have experience with, it's not quite this simple. And most schools don't even allow you to do that, at least not kind of randomly. It has to be at some natural milestone in the course or at the end of the course. A lot of schools just won't let you do that, but there would have to be a whole conversation with Ned's parents and maybe an administrator and the teachers to decide, okay, why are we doing this? And, what can we do to help Ned, etc. But I'm guessing the music teacher, Mr. Gibson, he's going to do something here. I can tell. I just don't know what it is yet.
Hey, Mr. Gibson wasn't teaching me what I needed.
Okay. It's going to be him.
I don't wanna be a loser.
Oh, boy.
I don't wanna be an almost world. That's why I wanna be a rock star. I just wanna be a rock star.
Okay. Okay, how long is this going to go? Okay, what is this? What is this? Like, he's just following him around, and Ned's not saying anything. He's just walking around and being pelted by dodgeballs and stuff while they just keep on playing. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but let's see.
All right, I get it. You know best.
If you want to learn how to do this, you got to learn how to do this first.
Okay.
So, see you in class tomorrow?
Hey! So, what do we learn in music class today? You've got to be really solid on the basics before you can rock.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking, and it is true. Like, Mr. Gibson, the way he conducted his class before, I really don't agree with. But this is true. I mean, practice and master the basics. I mean, you do need that before you can really do much else. I haven't really seen them learn anything at all, but that is very true here.
Practice stinks, but it's what will make you great.
True.
Be open to new types of music. You might find you like them, even if it takes a little while longer.
Agreed.
Like.
Okay, all right. She found her song. And it does sort of sound classical also. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. It's sort of this epic sounding soundtrack that I guess I thought it was going to be rock and roll also, like with Ned, but it makes her be able to play again. Okay. Okay.
Out. And remember, there's a musical instrument for everyone. So just keep trying until you find the right fit.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Triangle.
And it's so light.
So, still want to be a rock star?
Yeah. But when I'm ready.
I think you're ready.
Oh, okay.
1, 2.
Okay. Oh, whatever. The triangle. All right. Well, that's the episode. Obviously, I had a few more comments than usual because of my experience as a music teacher, but this one was really great. Had a good message, very true message. You do sort of have to master the basics before moving on to the kind of idea that Ned had in his head. But most teachers, most good teachers I have known sort of use that energy, to help encourage the students and funnel that into something positive. But I really enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to see the next one, Class Clowns, that a few of you have mentioned in the comments. But I hope you join me next week for that, next Tuesday. I hope you're having a great 2025 so far, and I hope to continue this series through 2025 right here with you. Someone told me that it's going to take most of this year to get through it at this pace, and I'm really looking forward to this series with you. I think that's correct. I'm not sure. But by the end of this year, I will have gone through the entire series. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. If you enjoy my content, I would appreciate clicking the button below to become a subscriber. I'm going to end the video here. I'll see you on the next one here on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.